Hey there, Walter here. It is the Halloween season, and I'm going to be going over to the Huntsburg Pumpkin Festival this weekend. I went ahead and registered to make a carved pumpkin, and today I'm going to show you how to make a carved pumpkin. So we're going to take this image right here, and we're going to put it on our pumpkin and get it all carved up. Okay, so first thing you want to do is get a decent sized pumpkin that will fit your pattern. And that is what I have right here. We'll take this pattern and fit it on there just like so. What I will do is I will tape the pattern onto the pumpkin, poke a bunch of holes on the outlines of the pumpkin carving, which would be all these outline pieces here, and then I'll go ahead and carve them out. But the first thing we have to do is prepare our pumpkin. So I have to check to see which side of the pumpkin I'm going to carve, which I've already chosen this side here because the back of it looks dirty but flat. So I'll take the little sticker off and I'll start getting this ready. Now you want to take a sharp knife and just poke right into the pumpkin itself. Make a bunch of jagged edges. And then for the back, make a little tooth. Just a triangular tooth will work. That will help with the alignment of the lid. Okay, lid is already carved up here. Pull this open, and it's got a lot of junk in it. All the pumpkin guts. So what you want to do is go ahead and carve all that stuff away, just to cut it all away. Helps to make your pumpkin look more hollow on the inside. There's your lid. It's going to be all nice and smoothed out. So we'll set the lid aside. Then we have all this gooey stuff in here. And I always carve or cut out just part of it, leaving close to a ½ inch to an inch for the walls. Now I'm going to talk about the tools you'll need for carving. Now a lot of stores like Walmart and Target and whatever, they'll have these kits here with the tools. I am going to try something different. I got this for my birthday last year. It is an entire pumpkin carving set with tools for what's called sculpting, which is where you scrape away part of the outside skin actually of the pumpkin, but you don't cut all the way into the pumpkin. So it gives it a shaded effect. I'm not going to do that here. So I'm going to take this scooper here and I'm going to go ahead and clean out the inside of the pumpkin. Now, I can't remember if it was 1:28 or 1:29 to clean out the entire inside of the pumpkin. So we're going to go ahead and check it out. Starting now. Scoop out as much of the walls as you can, getting all the string and the seeds. try to leave a uniform thickness for the walls. And yes, this will be icky. I don't know if I'm going to beat my time here. Done. Now it's all cleaned out on the inside. Okay, now that our pumpkin is cleaned out, we're going to take the pattern right on here. And all it just needs is just regular masking tape, or Scotch tape I should say. You can use masking tape also if you want to. Now this is going to be a little difficult because of the curve of the pumpkin. So I'm going to try to keep it as flat as possible. If you have to fold the paper up like I did here, it's not a problem because you don't have to go for perfection here. I'm not going to. I'm just going to guesstimate the general location of where all the lines are going to be at. Now your next job here is to poke out holes where all these outlines are. You can just cut right into the paper, but I'm not going to do that. With these smaller pieces here, it's best to go ahead and put a lot of holes, just poke a lot of holes in so you can get the general shape of this. When you do some of the larger pieces, like the outer edge pieces here, you don't have to use as many holes because you're just going for a general shape of this. But for the smaller ones, try to get as many holes poked in so you can get the shape of the item that's going to be cut out. This is a long and arduous, or rather lengthy time here, so just take your time with it. Alright, where I get my patterns is from a website called Zombie Pumpkins, www.zombiepumpkins.com. They have it listed right here. I will post a link at the bottom of the page here of the video, and that's where I go to get my patterns. The guy does a great job making the patterns, and he has all kinds of stuff that you can find. It could be video game characters, classic horror film characters, the modern horror films, sci-fi as well, just all kinds of different themes that you can find. And I believe he has around 600 patterns, so there's enough for anybody. Alright, all of these are done. So the next thing is to pull off this pattern. Don't throw the pattern away because you can use it for reference, for double checking where to cut. You can see the pattern here with all the holes cut. So now we're ready to start cutting. I'm using one of these small blades because the best thing to do is start with the small pieces first. So you just insert your blade in here. And carefully saw It's good to have a wash rag as well to help wipe away all the excess moisture, any of the pumpkin flesh that may appear on the outside of the pattern. And And there's the first part of the cutting. That's one of the eyes. Some pumpkins like this are really juicy. There's a lot of moisture in it. So if you come across anything like that, just go ahead and just keep wiping the moisture away with a wash rag. Another reason to do the small pieces first, you may have groups like this that are close together, and you just take your time and carve out all the small pieces first. That way you don't have to worry about accidentally breaking your carving if you push down too hard. One thing I like to do when I am carving, I try to push the pieces inside of the pumpkin. After I get them carved out, I don't pull them out, I just push them inside of the pumpkin. Pumpkin acts like a natural container to hold all the small pieces that I'm cutting. So that way I can just go ahead and throw those out when the time is done. Now I'm going to go to the next size carving saw. And I'll start working on all these larger pieces. I'm going back to the small saw because I have some detail work I have to do on these larger pieces. If the piece you're cutting is not pushing through to the inside of the pumpkin and you can't pull it out, you can cut the cut-off sections into smaller sections. Just cut perpendicular to the cut, and you can break this up into smaller pieces so it's easier to take out. Here's how it's looking right now. 3 more pieces to cut. Okay, this is all carved out. Now we need to work on lighting. Now one thing you would like to do is get a decent light source. For me, I'm just going to use a regular tea light. It is bright and it should work for this. So I'll just try it. And here we have it, our completed pumpkin. I think it looks really good. Okay, that's it for carving the pumpkin here. So I think it turned out pretty good, and I'm going to see how it works out for the pumpkin festival tomorrow. Okay, that's how you carve a pumpkin, and I'm glad I got 3rd place. So, what you have to do now, just like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave all your questions and comments down below. Remember to leave all those questions and comments rated E for everybody. So, until next time, I'm going to say 7-3.